My name is Harper Quinn. I am 27 years old, and my boss is currently trying to make me break. The problem with working the night shift at the Coronet Hotel in Manhattan is not the wealthy guests. It is the management. Specifically, it is Rex Morano. He is the shift manager, and he moves through the opulent lobby like he owns the marble under his feet. He does not hover to help. He hovers to find fault. His eyes are on me now. Across the ballroom filled with tuxedos and gowns. I can feel the weight of his stare even as I balance a tray of champagne flutes. Tonight is a high-profile political gala, and the air is thick with expensive perfume, cigar smoke, and the murmur of powerful deals being made. Rex has been riding me all night. "Quinn," he hissed at me an hour ago, his voice a low vibration by my ear. "That floral arrangement is tilted 2 degrees to the left. Do you think our clients pay $5,000 a night to look at lazy?" I fixed it. He waited. "Your smile looks tired, Harper," he continued, his own mouth twisting in something that was not a smile. "We sell luxury here, not your exhaustion. Fix your face." I stretched my lips into something bright and false, the smile we are all taught to wear. It is the armor of the service industry. The lobby is chaos. A senator is trying to leave, and the paparazzi are swarming the velvet ropes. I am navigating the edge of the crowd, tray heavy, when a reporter known for his stale cigarette smell and aggressive questions breaks past the security line. He shoves his camera forward, aiming for the politician. I pivot sharply to my left to avoid his shoulder. It is the wrong move. I slam backward into a solid wall of muscle, a wall disguised as a flawless, custom-tailored tuxedo. My tray tilts. Time freezes. I watch, horrified, as a full glass of dark red Barolo seems to hang suspended in the air. Then it flies from my tray. It does not hit me. It arcs perfectly, splashing across the chest and lapel of the man I just collided with. The entire lobby goes silent. The music, the chatter, the clinking of glasses, it all cuts off as if someone threw a switch. Because I did not just spill wine on any guest. I spilled it on Luca Santoro. He is a logistics billionaire. His name is always in the financial papers, but the whispers that follow him, the ones spoken in back rooms and shadowed alleys, say he is something else. They say he is the head of an Italian family, the kind of family that does not tolerate mistakes, especially public ones. Rex Morano is already turning a deep, dangerous shade of purple. I see him start to march toward me, his face a mask of pure rage. He's going to fire me right here. I am frozen. I cannot breathe. "I'm so sorry," I whisper. Luca Santoro does not look at me, not at first. He slowly brushes a drop of the red wine from his sleeve. He looks at Rex, who is now only a few feet away, ready to scream. Then Luca looks at me. His eyes are dark, intense, and surprisingly calm. He's not angry. He seems almost analytical. He raises one hand, a simple, quiet gesture. Rex stops dead in his tracks. He physically cannot take another step, frozen by that simple motion. The lobby holds its breath. Luca reaches into his breast pocket and pulls out a crisp, white linen handkerchief. He's going to wipe his jacket, but he does not. He steps toward me. I flinch. He takes my right hand. My hand is shaking violently, and wine has dripped from the glass onto my knuckles. Gently, methodically, he uses his handkerchief to wipe the Barolo from my skin. The entire room is watching. He leans in, close enough that I can smell the clean scent of his cologne and the faint, acidic tang of the wine. His voice is a low rumble, meant only for me, but it vibrates straight through my chest. "Beside me," he whispers. "You are safer than standing alone." That is when the flashbulbs explode. A dozen cameras go off at once, capturing the moment. It is not what it looks like. It looks intimate. It looks like the billionaire is comforting his lover, his hand holding mine, his face close to my ear. The photo is already being uploaded before he even straightens up. It will be trending in minutes. Rex sees the cameras. He sees the narrative changing. His expression shifts from simple rage to something far worse, opportunistic cruelty. He knows he cannot fire me in front of Luca Santoro and a wall of reporters. So he waits. When Luca finally steps back, Rex pounces. "Quinn," he barks, his voice loud enough for the entire lobby to hear. He rips my shift schedule from his jacket pocket, in front of everyone. He tears the paper in half. "You are reckless. This is coming out of your tips. You understand me. I am writing you up for this. A formal disciplinary action." He steps closer, lowering his voice so only I can hear the venom. "You pull stunts like this. You can forget about ever getting a promotion. You are done." I stare at the torn paper, my career at the coronet dying in his hand. Luca Santoro watches this exchange. He does not say a word to Rex. He turns his head slightly, just a glance toward a tall man standing near the main elevator. The man is built like a freight train, his suit immaculate. Matteo, his head of security. Luca gives a tiny, almost imperceptible shake of his head. It is a clear command. No violence. Luca turns back to me. His voice is calm, but it cuts through the renewed murmur of the lobby. "Continue your shift," he says. "It is not a suggestion. If anyone touches you, tell me." He turns to leave, his security detail moving with him like shadows. As his group passes, a woman separates from them. She is flawless, dressed in a tailored suit that probably costs more than my monthly salary. Isabella Cruz. I recognize her from magazine articles. She is Luca Santoro's head of public relations, the woman who spins disasters into gold. She slides a thick, embossed business card into my trembling hand. Her fingers are cold. "Do not sign anything tonight," she murmurs, her eyes sharp. "Human resources will try to force you. They will try to make you sign something admitting fault. Do not sign." She does not wait for a reply. She just blends back into the crowd following Luca. I stand there, numb. I look at the business card, then at the torn pieces of my schedule on the floor. I force my legs to move, walking back to the bar on limbs that feel like wet cement. My phone, hidden under the counter, buzzes. Then it buzzes again and again. It is the internal employee group chat. It is exploding. Someone has already captured a screenshot of the viral photo, the one where Luca is whispering in my ear. The messages are vile. "Look at Harper the honeypot. Guess we know how she was trying to get that promotion." A crude meme appears, my face photoshopped onto a dirty image. The insults pile up. They are calling me a gold digger. They are calling me things I cannot even think. The bullying is immediate, collective, and brutal. The rest of the night lasts an eternity. It is 8 hours of hell. I feel every eye on me. The guests whisper as I pour their drinks. The other staff members either glare at me with envy or avoid my eyes completely, afraid to be associated with me. At 4 a.m, just as I am finally clocking out, a woman from the Human Resources Department appears. She has a bright, plastic smile and a clipboard. "Harper," she says, her voice cheerful. "So sorry to catch you this late. We just have a simple form for you to sign. It is just a statement of events, an admission of fault for the incident. We need it to close out the report." I take the clipboard. I think of Isabella's warning. "Do not sign." The paper is not a statement of events. It is a confession. It says I acted inappropriately. It says I violated guest boundaries and damaged hotel property. At the bottom, in small print, it mentions a mandatory probationary period and significantly reduced hours. They are punishing me for what Rex did. "I will not sign this," I say. My voice barely shakes. The Human Resources woman's smile tightens. "Refusing to cooperate will be noted in your file. Harper, it could seriously affect your continued employment here." I hand her back the clipboard. "I will not sign it." She snatches it from me, her mask of friendliness gone. "Fine. Have it your way." I walk out of the employee entrance and into the cold Manhattan pre-dawn air. The city is quiet. My hand is clenched into a fist. I slowly uncurl my fingers. I forgot I was still holding it. Luca Santoro's linen handkerchief. It is stained dark purple with the Barolo. I stare at the stain, the fabric soft against my skin. I feel like prey. I feel like I'm being hunted, caught between Rex's petty tyranny and the sudden, dangerous interest of a man like Luca Santoro. And I know, with a cold certainty that settles deep in my bones, that when he whispered to me, it was not a pickup line. It was not a flirtation. It was a warning. I clutched the stained handkerchief all the way home on the subway, the fabric impossibly soft against my palm. It is the only tangible thing left from the encounter. Besides the phantom vibration of my phone in my pocket, I refuse to look at the group chat. The wine stain is a dark blotch on the white linen, like an accusation. My hands are still shaking, but not from the incident. They are shaking from the realization that has been settling in for months. The disaster with the wine was not an isolated event. It was just the loudest one. My job at the Coronet has been a death by 1,000 paper cuts. It is a system, one perfected and enforced by Rex Morano. He thrives on a specific brand of quiet cruelty. He practices what I call the public blame, private apology. Just last week, he cornered me by the wine cellar during a busy dinner service. He yelled at me in front of 3 other servers and 2 junior managers because the inventory count for the tequila was off by 1 bottle. He accused me of being careless, of being disorganized. He implied I might be stealing. His voice was loud, his face red, and I felt myself shrink under the glare of my colleagues. He waited until after my shift, precisely 8 hours later, when I was exhausted and ready to cry. He caught me by the employee exit. His entire demeanor changed. "Harper," he said, his voice suddenly smooth and reasonable. "You know, I just have to maintain the standards. The owners are watching everyone. Do not take it personally. You are one of my best." He even patted my shoulder. "We are a family here." "We are a family," is the official motto at the Coronet. It is painted in elegant, swirling gold script on the wall in the break room, right above the humming vending machine. But they use that word like a weapon. "We are a family" means you are expected to cover the double shift without complaint when someone calls out sick. "We are a family" means you do not question why your paycheck is short $50, because we all have to make sacrifices. "We are a family" means you endure the public humiliation, because the private apology is supposed to make you feel crazy for being upset in the first place. I need this job. I need it more than I need my dignity, and that is a bitter pill to swallow every night. By day, I am a student. I am 2 semesters away from finishing my degree in forensic accounting. I sit in bright, quiet classrooms, learning how to follow the money, how to find the rot hidden deep in spreadsheets and balance sheets. By night, I pour expensive wine for people who do not see me, all to pay off the mountain of student loans and medical debt my parents left behind when they died. And then there is Noah, my brother. He's 19 years old, he is smart, he's funny, and he is on probation. He fell in with the wrong crowd 2 years ago, made one profoundly stupid mistake, and now the legal system has its hooks deep in him. My paycheck keeps a roof over our heads in our tiny Queens apartment. It pays for his vocational classes. My stability is his only safety net. If I get fired for cause, if I lose this income, Noah is the one who really pays the price. He will be the one sent back to lockup. So I keep my head down, and I take it. My best friend, Maya Patel, knows all of it. She is an urban reporter for one of the city papers, and she sees the grit under Manhattan's gloss every single day. "Harper," she told me over cheap coffee just last week, her pen tapping impatiently on her notepad. "This is not just bad management, this is a pattern. It is textbook harassment and retaliation. You have to file a report with human resources." I just laughed. It was a hollow, tired sound. "Maya, human resources at the Coronet is not there to protect us. It is there to protect the hotel. They are famous for it. Their files are pristine. They keep pretty books, but dirty deeds." It is a phrase I picked up in my fraud examination class, and it fits them perfectly. If you complain, you are instantly labeled as not a team player or difficult to work with. Suddenly, your shifts are cut. You are moved from the high-tip gala nights to the dead Tuesday mornings, where you are lucky to make $20. A few colleagues of mine, good people, complained about Rex's behavior. One was a waitress Rex kept touching on her lower back. The other was a busboy he relentlessly mocked for his accent. They were gaslit so badly by the Human Resources Department, told their memories were wrong, told they were being too sensitive, that they both quit within a month. No severance, no unemployment, just gone. The silence is profitable. The city is gearing up for a mayoral election, and the Coronet is the unofficial headquarters for high-dollar fundraisers and smoky backroom deals. The hotel is making a fortune from these charity galas. The whispers in the service corridors, the ones spoken while polishing silverware in the kitchen, say the entire hotel chain. The parent company is owned by a shell corporation with quiet ties to Anthony Vale. He's the king of dirty construction contracts in this city. He builds glass skyscrapers with non-union labor and safety violations that get buried in paperwork and bribes. If Vale is connected, it means the rot goes all the way to the foundation. Rex Morano loves this culture of silence. He nurtures it. He is the gatekeeper. He controls the schedule. He controls the tip pool. We all suspect he is skimming tips, taking a cut of the electronic gratuities before they are distributed. But how do you prove it? The math is murky. It is designed to be murky. The pay stubs are confusing, and the numbers never quite add up. In this environment, you learn to watch everyone. I had seen Luca Santoro's team before last night. They are always quiet, always professional. The tall man, Matteo, the one Luca signaled, moves like a former soldier. He is ex-Marine. The rumor goes, he does not just stand guard, he observes. He scans the room, not for threats, but for information. He sees everything. And the woman, Isabella Cruz, the one who gave me her card. She dissects a media scrum with a few soft-spoken words. She can end a reporter's career with a single, perfectly phrased, no comment. They are a different species from the rented lobby security. This is bigger than just Rex. Maya felt it too. A few weeks ago, she was covering a story about labor violations in the high-end hospitality industry. She met an investigator, Agent Dana Keating. She is part of a joint task force. Something about the Department of Labor and Organized Crime. Keating gave Maya her card. If your friend at the hotel sees actual wage theft, Agent Keating told her, I want to know. A lot of these high-end places think they are above the law. We are trying to prove them wrong. I pull out my own notebook when I finally get to my apartment. The sun is starting to tinge the sky gray. It is a cheap spiral notebook where I practice my accounting homework. On the inside cover, I write the same 3 things every single day. It is a ritual. It is my anchor. 1, pay off the debt. 2, keep Noah out of trouble. 3, do not fall in love with men who have bodyguards. I stare at the 3rd line. It was meant as a joke when I first wrote it, a reminder to stay focused, to avoid the kind of power and danger that men like Luca Santoro represent. But as I stand in my tiny kitchen, his stained handkerchief still clutched in my hand, I am failing miserably at that 3rd one. My heart is pounding in a way that has nothing to do with fear and everything to do with the memory of his whisper. I understand the smell of money. I serve it every night. It smells like old leather, expensive scotch, and entitlement. I am learning the smell of power, the kind Rex wields. It is sour, like stale coffee and fear. Last night, standing next to Luca Santoro, I smelled something different. It was clean, like cologne and linen, but underneath it was the sharp, metallic tang of the Barolo. It was the smell of authority, not just power, and I'm beginning to understand that the two are not the same at all. The smell of money and the smell of abuse, they are similar in how they evaporate, leaving no trace. But Luca, he was different. I just do not know if different means better, or if it means infinitely more dangerous. The photo is on the cover of 2 of the city's biggest tabloids by morning. The pose is damning. Luca Santoro, the billionaire recluse, whispering in my ear, my hand in his. The headline screams, Santoro's Sweet Surrender. They call me a mystery bartender and speculate wildly. My phone has 72 new notifications. I do not look at them. I get dressed for work. My stomach a cold, hard knot. When I walk into the employee break room for the pre-shift briefing, the room goes quiet. Rex Morano is waiting for me, a stack of papers in his hand and a poisonous smirk on his face. He taps a copy of the tabloid paper pinned to the bulletin board. Well, well, look who it is. He announces to the 30 other staff members present, our little celebrity, our honeypot. My face burns. I can feel the stares, a mix of pity and contempt. I hope it was worth it, Harper, he continues, his voice dripping with fake concern, because we have standards here at the Coronet. We have a strict policy about inappropriate relationships, worse with our guests. He shoves a piece of paper toward me. It is not the disciplinary form from last night. This one is new. It is titled, Statement of Inappropriate Conduct and Fraternization. You sign this, he says, his voice dropping low, and maybe human resources will be lenient. Maybe it is an admission that you solicited a guest, that you behaved unprofessionally, and that you accept a 90-day probationary period with a transfer to the laundry department, effective immediately. I stare at the paper. Laundry, the basement, no tips, minimum wage. It is a termination, just slower and more humiliating. I did not solicit anyone, and I say, my voice is quiet, but it is steady. I spilled wine by accident. He was kind. Rex laughs, a short, ugly bark. Kind, is that what they are calling it? Sign the paper? Quinn, or you are suspended indefinitely, without pay. I look at his smug face. I think of Isabella Cruz's card, which is tucked into my bra. I think of Luca's strange, quiet intensity. No, I say. I push the paper back toward him. I will not sign that. Rex's face darkens. He was not expecting this. You are making a big mistake, he snarls. I will see you on the floor, I say, and I walk out of the break room, the silence of my colleagues following me like a shroud. 2 hours into my shift, my phone buzzes in my locker. It is an official email from the Corporate Human Resources Department. The subject line is Formal Internal Investigation and Notice of Suspension. My blood turns to ice. The email is cold, corporate, and terrifying. Pending a full investigation into your conduct on the night of, you are hereby suspended without pay. You are not to enter hotel property. Suspension without pay. I cannot make rent. Noah, I cannot pay for his classes. This is how they do it. They do not fire you. They starve you out. I am standing behind the bar, trying to breathe, trying to figure out my next move. When my personal phone buzzes, it is a text from Noah. Hey, got a weird call. Some guy said he knew your boss. Rex said Rex recommended me for a rush job at a warehouse in Red Hook. $20 an hour. Cash, loading trucks, gonna check it out. Need the money. A wave of panic, so cold and sharp it makes me gasp, hits me. No, I whisper. I text him back immediately. Noah, no, do not go. It is a setup. Stay home. There is no reply. I rip off my apron. I do not care about the suspension. I do not care about Rex. I am halfway to the lobby when I see him. Mateo, Luca Santoro's head of security. He's standing by the main entrance, watching me. He must have been here the whole time. He sees the blind panic on my face. He steps into my path. Miss Quinn, is there a problem? My brother, I gasp, my voice choking. He is in trouble. My boss, Rex, he set him up. A fake job. A warehouse in Red Hook. I have to go. Mateo's expression does not change, but his eyes sharpen. He pulls out his phone and speaks low and fast in Italian. Then he looks at me. Which warehouse? I give him the address Noah texted me. You are not going there, he says. It is a flat command. Go back to the bar. We will handle this. Handle it, you do not understand. My brother is on probation. If they plant something on him, We understand perfectly, Matteo says. He puts a heavy, steadying hand on my shoulder for just 1 second. Go. Wait. I will find you. I have no choice. I cannot get to Red Hook in time. I walk back to the bar. My body's shaking so badly I can barely stand. I spend the next hour in a living hell, imagining a dozen different scenarios, each one ending with Noah in handcuffs. At 7 o'clock, Matteo walks back into the hotel. He finds me in a service corridor. Your brother is safe, he says simply. He's on his way home. I sag against the wall, my legs giving out. What happened? What did he do? Rex Morano was there, as you suspected. He was with 2 men who claimed to be security. They had your brother load crates for an hour. Then they found a bag of stolen electronics in your brother's backpack. Rex was coincidentally there to witness it and call the police. Oh my God, I whisper, my hand over my mouth. My men arrived before the police, Matteo continues, his voice a calm monotone. They explained to Mr. Morano and his associates that planting evidence on the brother of someone Mr. Santoro has an interest in is unwise. They also secured the footage from the warehouse security cameras, the footage that shows one of his men putting the bag in your brother's backpack. He looks at me. Rex was cooperative. He will not be troubling your brother again. I am crying, silent tears of pure, unadulterated terror and relief. Thank you, I whisper. I do not know. Mr. Santoro would like to see you, Matteo says. He's upstairs. The restaurant is closed for a private event. This is it, I nod, wiping my face. Okay. Matteo leads me to the private elevator, the one that goes to the rooftop restaurant, the Glass Star. It is closed, empty. The tables are bare. The entire place is dark, except for the glittering expanse of the Manhattan skyline beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows. Luca Santoro is sitting at a corner table alone. There is no food, just a bottle of water and 2 glasses. Harper, he says. He stands as I approach. He's not wearing a tuxedo tonight. He's in dark pants and a simple, perfectly cut black shirt. He looks less like a billionaire and more like a shadow. Sit, he says. I sit. Matteo remains by the elevator, a silent statue. Luca pours me a glass of water. My hands are still shaking. Your brother is safe, he says. His voice is the same low rumble I remember. Thank you, I say. You saved him. I owe you. No, he says, his eyes fixed on mine. You owe me nothing. I did not do that for you. I did it to stop him. Now tell me what he did to you. He leans forward. I am not here to buy your silence. Harper, I am here to buy the truth, and I am here to protect you while you tell it. And so I do. I tell him everything. I tell him about the systematic bullying. I tell him about Rex's public humiliation and private apologies. I tell him about the group chat. I tell him about the skimming of the tips, how our paychecks are always short, how the numbers never add up. I tell him about the other staff, the ones who were gaslit until they quit. I tell him about the Human Resources Department and their fake disciplinary forms. I tell him about the email in my inbox, the one suspending me without pay. I talk for 10 minutes straight. He never interrupts. He just watches me, his gaze unwavering. When I am finished, I'm breathless. This is not bad management, Luca says, his voice dangerously quiet. This is workplace abuse. It is wage theft, and it is illegal. He nods. You are not alone in this. He lays out the deal. It is not what I expected. There is no talk of him paying me off, no offer of a new job. You have 2 options, he says. You can take the suspension, and they will eventually fire you. You will walk away, or you can fight them, but you will not fight them alone. He gestures toward the elevator. Isabella Cruz steps out, joining Matteo. Isabella has contacted one of the best labor lawyers in this city, Luca says. He's waiting for your call. He will represent you, and I will cover all expenses. Matteo will provide a legal protection detail for you and your brother. They will be discreet. You will not see them, but they will be there. Your brother will be escorted to and from his classes. I stare at him. In exchange for what? For you to do what you do best. Luca says. A small, almost imperceptible smile touches his lips. You are studying forensic accounting. Are you not? You know how to find what is hidden. I want you to go back to work tomorrow. But I am suspended. I say, You will not be, Isabella says. Stepping forward, her voice is crisp and clear. Your new lawyer will be contacting the Coronet's corporate counsel in the morning. He will inform them that your suspension is an illegal act of retaliation against a whistleblower. He will cite federal labor laws. They will reinstate you by noon tomorrow. They will be terrified. And when I go back, I ask, looking at Luca, You will not go back as a victim. He says, You will go back as an auditor. You will gather your evidence. Legally. No risks. You will document every timesheet they alter, every dollar they skim from the tips, every fake write-up. You will do it under the full protection of the law and under my protection. This is not a rescue. It is an enlistment. The next day, just as Isabella predicted, I receive a new email. The suspension is rescinded, pending a good faith review. That afternoon, I meet the lawyer. He's sharp, fast, and he believes me. We also have a conference call. Agent Dana Keating is on the line. What you are describing, Agent Keating says, her voice all business, is a pattern of wage theft and retaliation. It is exactly what we are investigating. We need an inside source. We need concrete proof. What do you want me to do, I ask. I can get a warrant for you to wear a recording device. Agent Keating says, a wire. When Rex or the human resources managers speak to you, we will have it. I look at my new lawyer. He nods slowly. It is legal, as long as the warrant is valid, but it is high risk. I think of Noah in that warehouse. I think of Rex's face. I will do it, I say, but on one condition. You do not send me in as bait. I am gathering evidence, not luring him into a trap. I will not be put in a dangerous position. My safety comes first. Agreed, Agent Keating says. That night, I do not go to work. I stay home. I open a new, clean notebook. My first evidence journal. I start with what I know. I write down the dates and times of every incident I can remember. I take screenshots of the group chat, pages and pages of vile messages. I photograph my old pay stubs, highlighting the discrepancies. I make a note to get a photo of the clock-in station, to cross-reference with the camera logs. The fight has begun. The next day, I go back to work. Walking through those doors is one of the hardest things I have ever done. Rex is standing by the time clock. His face is a mask of pure hatred. The word has come down from corporate. He cannot touch me. He cannot speak to me. But he can look, and he does. He does not have to do anything. The smear campaign starts within an hour. A new rumor. Whispered in the kitchens and service halls. Harper is not just a honeypot. She's sleeping with Santoro. That is why she was unsuspended. She's trading favors to get us all fired. It works. My few remaining friends, the colleagues who were neutral, now look at me with fear and disgust. They are afraid I am a spy. They are afraid of Rex. I am completely, utterly alone. I sit in the break room on my 15-minute break. The silence around me heavier than any noise. I want to quit. I want to run. It would be so easy to just walk away, to take Noah and disappear. Then I think of Luca's words, whispered in the middle of that chaotic, glittering lobby. Beside me, you are safer than standing alone. For the first time in my life, I am not alone. I am terrified, but I am not alone. I finish my break, I stand up, I smooth my apron, and I walk back out to the bar. I am staying. I am going to burn them to the ground with their own paperwork. Working again feels like walking into my own lion's den, only this time I am wearing a wire. The small recording device, legally authorized by Agent Keating's warrant, is taped to the center of my chest. It feels cold against my skin, a constant reminder that this is no longer just a job. It is a federal investigation. Rex Morano cannot fire me, but he can bury me. My new schedule is his masterpiece of passive aggression. I am no longer behind the bar, where the tips are high and the witnesses are many. I am assigned to inventory, deep in the hotel's cavernous basements. It is a strategic move. He wants me isolated. He wants me broken. But he has made a mistake. The inventory office is where the paper records are kept. The physical timesheets, the liquor receipts, the tip distribution logs. He has given me the keys to the kingdom he is trying to protect. I spend the first 3 days in a dust-filled room, counting linens and cases of vodka. I am alone, which is exactly what my lawyer and Luca wanted. I photograph every document. My forensic accounting training kicks in. The timesheets are sloppy, but the pattern is clear. My hours, and the hours of 3 other employees who I know have clashed with Rex, are consistently rounded down. 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. It adds up. The tip skimming is more elegant. Every credit card gratuity is pooled. A mandatory 15% service fee is deducted by the hotel before distribution. This is legal. But when I trace the payout, that 15% is not going to the Coronet's main account. It is being wired to a separate entity, a limited liability company I have never heard of. I write down the name. It takes me 10 minutes on my phone, searching state business records to find the registration. The company's sole listed agent is a man I have never met, but his address is the same as a holding company known to be owned by Anthony Vale. I'm not just fighting my boss, I am fighting the owner. The recorder proves its worth on the 4th day. Rex thinks he has me trapped, but he is arrogant. He comes down to the basement, needing to exert his dominance. He finds me counting silverware. He does not know that Hector, a new busboy and one of the most recent targets of his abuse, is in the next aisle. Hector has his phone out, recording a video through a gap in the shelving. "You are quiet today, Quinn," Rex says, leaning against a rack. Nothing to say, all that big talk gone. I just look at him. I'm just doing my job, Rex. "This is your job now," he sneers. "Counting forks seems about right for your skill level." Hector sneezes. Rex's head whips around. He storms into the next aisle and finds him. "What are you doing here?" Rex snaps. Mr. Morano, they sent me for more napkins," Hector stammers, his accent thick. Rex gets closer. "They sent you, or you came snooping? You know, I cannot even understand what you are saying. Speak English. Can you speak English? This is America. You come here, you learn the language, or you go back." The audio I am recording is crystal clear. The video Hector sends to me later that night is shaky, but it shows everything. Rex jabbing his finger in Hector's chest, the spit flying from his mouth, the pure, undiluted malice. That night, I meet Isabella and Matteo in a coffee shop 3 blocks from the hotel. I slide the memory card from my recorder across the table. "This is assault," Isabella says, her face grim as she listens to the audio through an earbud. "The wage theft is systemic. The bullying is targeted." "So what do we do?" I ask, my hands wrapped around a warm mug. "We stick to the strategy," she says. "We do not attack Rex Morano, the person. We attack the documented behavior. We do not leak the audio of him screaming. We leak the spreadsheets showing the stolen money. We use data, not drama. It is cleaner. It is undeniable." Matteo has a map of the hotel's service corridors laid out on the table. "Rex is cornered, and you are cornering him," he says, his voice low. "He's becoming unpredictable. From now on, you do not use the main elevators. You use service exit 4. It is the fastest route to the street. I will have a car waiting there at the end of every one of your shifts. You do not go anywhere alone." The next day, the other side of the system reveals itself. I am called to the Human Resources office. I go, my recorder active. The Human Resources Director, a woman with a fixed, bright smile, informs me that they are scheduling a formal internal hearing to review my grievous allegations against Mr. Morano. It is a trap. I know it. It is a kangaroo court designed to discredit me. I email my lawyer. He responds to their corporate counsel within the hour. His email, which he copies me on, is a work of art. He informs them that he will be attending the hearing with me. He demands that 3 other employees, whom he names, be allowed to testify. And he states, as per state law, that he will be professionally recording the entire session. Rex panics. The retaliation is immediate. The next day, a new schedule is posted. I am moved to the graveyard deep clean shift, midnight to 8 in the morning. My job is to polish the brass fixtures in the lobby and scrub grout in the spa bathrooms. It is a ghost shift. No guests, no tips, no colleagues. He's cutting me off from everyone. The isolation is the new weapon. They are trying to make me quit. For 2 days, it works. I see no one. I speak to no one. I realize that I cannot be the only one. Rex has targeted others. I have to find them. On my break, I slip folded notes into the lockers of the 3 people I know have been harassed. Maria, the waitress I saw Rex corner in the linen closet, Hector, and a banquet server who had his shifts cut after refusing to work unpaid overtime. The note is simple. You are not alone. No more quiet coronet at protonmail.com. 100% anonymous. For 24 hours, nothing, then an email. It is from Hector. He attaches the video, then another. Maria. She describes in humiliating detail how Rex trapped her, how he groped her, then 10 more emails, a flood. Stories of sexual harassment, racist abuse, punitive scheduling, of being forced to work off the clock. The evidence pours in. It is not just Rex. It is 2 other managers. It is the head of human resources who dismissed every single complaint. The rot is everywhere. The 3rd night on the graveyard shift, Rex finds me. It is 3 in the morning. I am in the spa, cleaning tiles. He needs you in the main kitchen, Rex says, his voice echoing in the empty hall. Freezer inventory is off. Go count the steaks. A chill goes down my spine. The main walk-in freezer. Now. Yes, now. Do not question me. I walk to the kitchen. It is empty. The huge stainless steel door of the freezer is slightly ajar. I grab a clipboard and I step inside. The cold hits me instantly. It is bitter. Maybe 20 degrees. I am in my thin polo shirt. I start counting the boxes of frozen steaks, my hands already stinging. I hear a footstep behind me. The heavy door swings shut. It is loud in the silence. I turn, and I hear the unmistakable, heavy click of the external manual lock. My heart stops. Then I hear it, muffled through the thick, insulated steel. Rex Morano. He's laughing. Count fast. Harper. His voice yells. It gets cold. Panic, pure and primal, seizes me. Rex, I scream. Let me out. This is not funny, Rex. Only silence. He is gone. My recorder is on. It is capturing my own panicked breathing. I am locked in. My phone has no signal. I look around, metal shelves, hard frozen boxes, and ice forming on the condenser unit. I pound on the door. It is useless. It is 6 inches thick. I am going to die in here. I fight the blackness edging into my vision. I have to think. Mateo, his exit routes. He cannot hear me. But what can he... The pipes. The condenser unit. The thick copper pipes running refrigerant. They run through the walls. They vibrate. I grab a solid, frozen rack of lamb. It is heavy. I swing it with all my strength against the main pipe. Clang! The noise is deafening inside the small space. I do it again. Clang, clang, clang. I start a rhythm. 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. Save our souls. Clang, 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 clang. 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 Clang, clang, clang. I do not know how long I do it. 5 minutes? 20? My hands are numb. My arms are burning. The cold is seeping into my bones. I am shaking uncontrollably. I am getting dizzy. I am leaning against the shelf, my breath frosting in the air, when I hear a crash outside the door, yelling, and then the lock is thrown. The door is yanked open. Mateo fills the doorway. He's not in his suit. He's in jeans and a dark shirt. He must have been in the car at the service exit, just waiting. He sees me, huddled and shaking. He pulls me out into the warm kitchen air. He's stripping off his own jacket and wrapping it around me before I can even speak. "He locked me in," I whisper, my teeth chattering so hard I can barely form words. "Rex, he locked me in." Mateo's face is carved from stone. He does not go hunting for Rex. His only priority is me. He lifts me easily and carries me through the service corridors, the same route he planned, and out into the night air. He puts me in a warm car. "We are going to an urgent care," and he says, "to get you checked. The doctor is waiting." An hour later, I'm sitting in a small clinic room, wrapped in 3 blankets. The doctor, a kind woman, confirms I have no frostbite, just the early stages of hypothermia. I am lucky. When the doctor leaves, Luca Santoro walks in. He must have been waiting outside the whole time. His face is pale, and there is a muscle jumping in his jaw. He looks at me, wrapped in blankets, shaking. He does not yell. He does not pace. He just stands there, vibrating with a controlled rage that is more terrifying than any shouting. "I can stop this," he says. His voice is a low vibration, barely audible. "I can make one call, and this man will disappear. He will never trouble you, or anyone, ever again. You just have to say the word, Harper." I look into his dark eyes. I see the promise there. He means it. And the old me, the me from a week ago, would have begged him to do it. But I am not that person anymore. "No," I say, my voice hoarse. "If you do that, we lose. They will say you threatened him. The press will bury us. It will all be about you, the Mafia boss and me, the gold digger. We do it my way, with the evidence, with the recorder." I touch my chest. It is all on tape. Him sending me there. The lock clicking. His laugh. He studies my face for a long, silent moment. Then he nods. "Once. I will arrange for therapy," he says, his voice softer. "The medical bills are covered, but Harper." He waits until I meet his eyes. "If you want to stop, you tell me. I will not control you. This is your choice." I have never seen power like this. Power that offers to destroy, but waits. Power that offers support without demanding control. It is gentle, and it is terrifying. The freezer incident changes the game, but Vale fights back. The next morning, the tabloids are ruthless. "Gold digger bartender's desperate scam," the article, quoting anonymous hotel sources, claims I am faking harassment. It claims I was caught stealing cases of expensive wine and that I locked myself in the freezer as a desperate revenge plot. Isabella calls me before I even see the paper. "Do not read it," she commands. "Here is what we are doing." An hour later, she releases a formal statement to the real press, the ones who check their facts. She does not deny the rumors. She steamrolls them with truth. She provides copies of my stellar employment record for the past 3 years. She gives them the exact timeline, my perfect record until the night of the gala, followed by Rex's formal disciplinary action, and my immediate suspension after the photo went viral. She releases a statement from the doctor at the urgent care, confirming I was treated for hypothermia. She is not just fighting his lies, she is executing them with verified facts. Agent Keating calls me that afternoon. Her voice is hard. The freezer incident is attempted assault. The audio of Rex threatening Hector, the video, it is all solid. The wage theft is criminal. We have enough to move on Rex and the human resources head. "But," I ask, "but we are missing the linchpin." She says, "This is systemic. We need the smoking gun, Harper, the audit log. We need the exact time, the date, and the user identification of the person who physically altered your pay rate in the system. We need the digital signature of the person who approves the wire transfer of those skim tips to Vale's company. We need the who and the when of the digital crime. That is the final piece. That ties it all to the top. I know where that data is. It is not on paper. It is on the human resources main server." I go back to work 2 days later. Against my lawyer's advice and Luca's quiet protests, I have to... The No More Quiet group is my only way to get information. I am in the break room, gulping down coffee before my shift. Maria, the waitress, slides onto the bench across from me. She does not look at me. She pushes a crumpled napkin across the table. "You dropped this," she says, and walks away. I open the napkin under the table. 4 words are scrawled in pen. Human Resources server wipe tonight, midnight. They are destroying the evidence. I walk into the service closet and I text Mateo. "Tonight, midnight, they are wiping the servers." His reply is instant. "We will be ready. Go to your lawyer's office." Now, this is it. Tonight, we do not just get the evidence. We take the whole building. It is 11:30 at night. The air in my lawyer's office is thick with tension. Mr. Elias, my lawyer, is buttoning his suit jacket. Agent Dana Keating had called him 10 minutes ago. She secured the emergency subpoena from a night judge. We have a legal, court-ordered window of 2 hours to enter the Human Resources office and secure the data, based on the imminent threat of its destruction. "Harper, are you ready, mister?" Elias asks. He looks as nervous as I feel. "I am," I say, though my heart is pounding so hard it hurts my ribs. We do not go in the front. Matteo Ricci meets us at the service entrance, the one I used the night of the freezer. He is not coming with us. He just nods. "I will be here," he says. It is all the reassurance I need. We take the service elevator to the 5th floor, where the administrative offices are. The hallway is dark, the carpets thick and silent, but there is a line of light coming from under the main door of the Human Resources Department. "Mister?" Elias pushes the door open. The room is not empty. Rex Morano is there. The Human Resources Director, Miss Vance, is there biting her nails, and a man I do not recognize, a thin, nervous-looking information technology technician, is typing frantically at the main server terminal. They all freeze when they see us. "What is the meaning of this, miss?" Vance demands, her voice shaky. "You are suspended. You are trespassing." "He is not." "Mister," Elias says, his voice booming in the quiet office. He steps forward and places the subpoena on her desk. "This is a court order. Miss Vance, we are legally authorized to be here. Step away from that terminal. All of you." Rex Morano looks at the paper, his face turning a sickly shade of gray. He knows what it is. "I cannot," the information technology technician stammers, his hands hovering over the keyboard. I am in the middle of a diagnostic, a full system format. It is routine maintenance." "Liar," I say. The word is out of my mouth before I can stop it. I walk past my lawyer. Rex tries to step in my way, but I brush past him. I look at the screen. My forensic accounting classes, all those late nights staring at code, it all clicks into place. "That is not a format diagnostic. Yes, I say, pulling out my phone. "You are running a command line deletion script. You are trying to digitally bleach the drives." The technician tries to close the window, but I am faster. I start taking photographs. The flash of my camera is the only sound in the room. "Mr. Elias," I say, my voice steady. "Please note that the main audit log, which they failed to close, is still active." I snap a photo. Here it is, the log that records every single change made to the payroll system. And look here. I zoom in with my phone's camera. Timestamp. 2:14 in the morning, last Wednesday, a pay rate change. That is my employee number. And that is the login token. It is a remote access signature, and it matches the desktop assigned to Mr. Rex Morano. Rex stops breathing. "And this," I say, finding the next file, "this is a macro script. It is designed to automatically shave 5 minutes from every clocked-out break time under 20 minutes. It is automated. Systemic wage theft, hundreds of employees, thousands of dollars a week. I have it all. I have the digital fingerprint." Rex lunges. He's not aiming for me. He's aiming for the door, trying to block our exit. He slams it shut. You are finished," he screams, his voice cracking. He is looking right at me, his eyes wild with terror and rage. "You think you are so smart, you little witch. You are nothing. You are just a bartender. Without me, you would be nothing. You will never work in this city again. You are done." "Mr. Morano, "Stand down," my lawyer orders, stepping between us. Rex shoves him. He shoves Mr. Elias hard into a file cabinet. Then he turns on me. He is completely unhinged. "You did this to me. You ruined me." He grabs my arm, the one holding the phone. His fingers dig into my skin, twisting. "Give me that phone." I scream. The pain is sharp. The office door bursts open. It was not locked. Matteo Ricci is there. He must have been right outside the entire time. He moves with an efficiency that is terrifying. He does not punch Rex. He does not yell. He takes 2 long strides. He uses one hand to grip Rex's wrist, the one that is crushing my arm. He applies pressure to a nerve point. Rex cries out, a high, thin sound, and his hand flies open. Matteo uses his other hand on Rex's chest, not a punch, but a heavy, solid push. He separates us, spinning Rex away from me and pinning him against the drywall. It is over in less than a second. It is the definition of minimal physical intervention. "Do not," Matteo says, his voice a flat, cold whisper. "Touch her again." Rex is gasping, holding his wrist, his arrogance completely shattered. The elevator dings in the hall. The door opens again. Agent Dana Keating storms in, flanked by 2 men in suits. They are federal marshals. "This office is now a federal crime scene," she announces, her eyes taking in the entire room. She sees the technician, who has his hands in the air. She sees Miss Vance, who's crying, and she sees Matteo holding a pale, sweating Rex against the wall. "Mr. Ricci," she says, her voice tight, "please release Mr. Morano to my custody." Matteo steps back instantly, his job done. "Agent Keating," the information technology technician stammers, "I was just doing what they told me." "Save it," she snaps. She and her team move to the server. They are not here to arrest Rex. They are here to secure the drives. "It is over, Rex," she says, pulling out a plastic evidence bag. "This is a mistake." The voice comes from the doorway. It is smooth, powerful, and cold. Anthony Vale is standing there. He's dressed in a perfect dark gray suit, his silver hair immaculate. He looks at Agent Keating, then at Rex. He glances at me as if I am a piece of gum on his shoe. "Agent Keating," Vale says, "there seems to be a significant misunderstanding. This is a simple internal employee dispute. I am the majority stakeholder in this chain, and I assure you, we can handle this internally. There is no need to involve the federal government in a human resources matter." He is pulling out his phone. He's going to make one call and end this. But my lawyer's phone buzzes first. He looks at it, and a small smile touches his lips. "It has started," he says. "What has started?" Vale asks, his authority wavering for the first time. In the lobby, 10 floors below us, bright lights flash on. A podium, draped in coronet blue, has been wheeled in front of the main staircase. Isabella Cruz steps up to it, a wall of cameras and reporters, the real press, flashed to life. A live feed is streaming. "Good evening," Isabella's voice says, echoing from a radio one of the marshals is carrying. "We've called this emergency press conference to release preliminary findings of a massive systemic pattern of wage theft and workplace abuse here at the Coronet Hotel, brought to light by a brave whistleblower." Vale's face goes white. His phone rings, and he stares at it, dumbfounded. In the Human Resources office, one of Keating's men has opened a laptop. A video conference call is active. The faces of the board of directors blink onto the screen, pale and confused. "Oh, Mr. Vale," one of them, the chairman, asks, "What is this? What is this press conference? Our stock is..." "What is she talking about?" "Worse, it is slander," Vale snaps, finding his voice. "It is a coordinated attack by a disgruntled employee." "It is not," I say. My voice is shaking, but I step forward. Agent Keating nods, giving me the floor. I plug my phone into their large monitor. The photos I just took, the ones from the server, flash onto the screen for the entire board to see. "This," I say, my voice gaining strength, "is the audit log, and this is the discrepancy analysis I prepared." I point to the 2 columns. On the left, you see the credit card tips collected by this hotel for the last fiscal year, $3.2 million. On the right, you see the tips paid out to the staff, $2 million. The difference, $1.2 million, was wired weekly to this shell company. I put the name of Vale's company on the screen. I show them the altered time logs. I show them the macro. This script stole an average of $100 per employee. Per month, multiplied by 200 staff, that is $250,000 a year. I take a deep breath. This is not just about me. This is about Hector, a busboy who was told to go back where he came from. This is about Maria, a waitress who was sexually harassed in a linen closet and then had her shifts cut for refusing to be silent. This is for every employee who was threatened, humiliated, and stolen from, all while being told they were a family. The board members are staring, horrified. They are not horrified by the abuse. They are horrified by the documentation. "Suspend them," the chairman barks, pointing at Rex and Miss Vance. "Suspend them both immediately, pending termination." Agent Keating steps forward. "That will not be necessary, sir." She walks over to Rex. "Rex Morano," she says, her voice clear and cold, "you are under arrest for felony wage theft, conspiracy to destroy evidence, and intimidation of a federal witness." She pulls out the handcuffs. The click of the steel locking around his wrists echoes in the silent room. As the marshals lead a weeping Miss Vance and a catatonic Rex Morano out of the office, Anthony Vale moves. He finds Luca Santoro. I did not even know he was here. He was standing in the shadows by the door, watching everything. "Luca," Vale hisses, grabbing his arm. "A word, now. We can fix this. This is bad for business, for all of us. Name a price, for her silence. We make this go away." I watch them. Luca does not move. He looks at Vale. This man who controls half the city, and he does not blink. "There is no price, Anthony," Luca says. His voice is quiet, but it cuts through the room. Respect, over fear. I am practicing a new way of doing business. He looks at Vale, and his gaze is absolute. I am not buying her silence. I am ensuring she has a platform to speak. Vale understands. He is lost. Isabella appears in the doorway, her face calm. "Harper, they want to hear from you." She means the press. Downstairs, my legs feel like they are made of water. Luca walks over to me. He does not touch me. He just stands near. "You do not have to do this," he says, his voice low. "Yes," I say, "I do." I walk past Anthony Vale, whose empire is beginning to crumble. I take the elevator down. The lobby is a circus. Lights, cameras, shouting. Isabella leads me to the podium. I'm shaking so hard I can barely stand. I grip the sides of the podium to stay upright. I find the main camera, the one with the red light. "My name is Harper Quinn," I say. My voice is small, but it is clear. "And I was a bartender here. What happened tonight? What has been happening for years? This is not a love story. This is not a tabloid headline." I take a deep, shaky breath. This is a workplace safety story. This is for every person who is told to be quiet, every person who is bullied by their boss, or has their wages stolen, or is told they are crazy for speaking up. Tonight, we decided not to be quiet. As I'm speaking, Agent Keating walks out the front doors, past the podium, carrying a heavy, sealed box of hard drives. A new van pulls up to the curb. The Department of Labor. They are here to start the full audit of the entire hotel chain. And across the street, in the glare of the news lights, a group of men and women are unfurling a banner. The City Service Workers Union. They are here. They are finally here. The climax is not the arrest. It is the sound of 100 new voices joining mine. The explosion in the lobby that night sends shockwaves that do not stop at the city limits. The fallout is immediate, public, and profoundly quiet. The legal machinery, once set in motion, is grinding forward with terrifying efficiency. The Coronet's parent company, caught in a vice grip between a massive class action lawsuit filed by the Service Workers Union and a federal indictment for systemic criminal activity, does not even attempt to fight. They capitulate. Within 1 week, they sign a consent decree with the Department of Labor. It is a document of complete surrender. They are ordered to pay all back wages, dating back 5 years. To every employee whose hours or tips were illegally altered, they must pay this amount plus compounding interest. The civil penalties alone are enough to make headlines in the financial papers. But the real victory is not the money. The decree mandates a complete top-to-bottom cultural overhaul. An independent, third-party managed hotline is established, a place where employees can report abuse anonymously and, for the first time, safely. A mandatory, zero-tolerance anti-bullying program is implemented, required for every single staff member, from the night porters to the newly hired chief executive officer. Rex Morano and the Human Resources Director, Miss Vance, are not offered a deal. They are indicted, facing a future of steel bars and orange jumpsuits. 2 of the assistant managers who had enabled Rex's reign of terror break completely. They agree to cooperate with the district attorney's office in exchange for reduced sentences. Their depositions are a horrifying chronicle of the abuse they witnessed, the complaints they were ordered to bury, and the precise, calculated cruelty of the "we are a family" culture. Anthony Vale is a different kind of animal. He's too insulated, too protected by layers of lawyers and shell companies, to be brought down by the hotel's scandal alone. But the discovery of his limited liability company, the one that received the $1.2 million in skim tips, is the thread Agent Keating needed to pull. Her task force opens a separate, larger investigation into Vale's entire empire. They start digging into his history of union busting, his non-compliant construction sites. His backroom deals with city inspectors. The press, led by a newly emboldened Maya Patel, feasts on the story. Anthony Vale, the man who built skyscrapers, finds himself toxic. A federal judge agrees to freeze a significant portion of his assets pending the outcome of the investigation. The king is trapped. Through all of this, Luca Santoro is a ghost. His name is never mentioned in the legal filings. He issues no statements to the press, but in the quiet world of high finance, he moves like a surgeon. He publicly announces that Santoro Logistics is divesting its minority stake in the hotel chain, effective immediately, when the panicked members of the board of directors, the same men who stared blankly at me from the video screen, try to call him for help, to ask him to use his influence. He refuses to take their calls. Isabella Cruz, his public voice, delivers the message. "Mr. Santoro does not interfere with federal investigations," she tells the financial papers. "He has full faith in the legal process." Then he does something extraordinary. He announces that his own corporation, his entire logistics empire, will be undergoing a voluntary, full-scale, external audit. He invites investigators to examine every division, every holding. He specifically directs them to the charitable foundation that hosted the gala on that first night. He's not just distancing himself from the rot, he is preemptively burning it out of his own house. He is proving that respect over fear was not a line he used on me. It is his new, ironclad policy. 2 weeks after the arrests, when the dust has begun to settle, Luca calls me. He offers me a job. It is a senior analyst position in his newly formed risk management division. The salary he quotes is staggering. It is more money than I have ever seen. It is a golden cage, a safe harbor. It is everything I thought I wanted. I ask him to meet me for coffee, not in his sterile, glass tower, not in my tiny apartment. I choose a noisy, anonymous cafe in Midtown, halfway between our two worlds. "I cannot accept," I say. My voice is steady. My hands are not shaking. He studies my face, his dark eyes searching for a reason. "I'm so grateful, Luca," I say, and I mean it. "You saved my life. You saved my brother. But I cannot work for you. I can never again be in a position where the lines are blurred, where my boss is also the man." I pause, taking a breath. I cannot mix my safety with my salary. I have to stand on my own 2 feet. If I do not, I will never be truly safe. I expect him to be angry. I expect him to be persuasive. Instead, he just nods. A slow, deep acknowledgement. I understand, Billionaire, he says. Then I will have to find another way to see you. I find my own way. I take my evidence journal, my spreadsheets, and the story of what we did, and I walk into the office of a small, underfunded, ferocious nonprofit organization. They provide free legal aid and advocacy for service industry workers facing workplace harassment. They hire me as a special consultant and forensic analyst. My new job is to teach other bartenders, other waitresses, other busboys, how to do what I did, how to spot wage theft, how to document abuse, how to build a case, legally and safely. My life finds a new rhythm. Noah, free from the threat of Rex's setups, thrives. He enrolls in a vocational program for automotive mechanics. He comes home covered in grease, his knuckles skinned, and he is happier than I have ever seen him. He's not going to the docks anymore. He's building a future. Maya Patel writes the definitive, award-winning series on the Coronet scandal. She calls it The Cost of Silence. At the bottom of every installment, she posts a link to the new independent hotel hotline, and to the nonprofit where I now work. Our phone starts ringing off the hook. Luca and I begin the slow, careful work of building something new. We do not date. We do not fall into the easy romance the tabloids wanted. We build something stronger. We create what I call our boundary treaty. The rules are simple, but absolute. We agree to total schedule transparency. He will not interfere in my cases, and I will not be used as a liability in his business. We each have veto power. If he believes a situation I am investigating is becoming physically dangerous, he can say so. If I believe one of his associates or partners is unethical, I can say so. We agree to listen, and he agrees to respect the therapy he insisted I start, the space I need to heal from the trauma of the freezer, the stalking, the fear. It is a relationship built not on breathless passion, but on a foundation of rigorous mutual respect. 1 month after the settlement, the Coronet's new management team, handpicked by Isabella Cruz, who is serving as an external consultant, holds a town hall. It is not a press conference. It is a public apology. It is held in one of the hotel's smaller ballrooms, under harsh fluorescent lights, with no flowers and no open bar. The victims are invited to speak. Hector is the first one to stand, his voice shaking as he reads a prepared statement about the racist abuse he endured. Maria stands next, her hands clenched, and she speaks about the humiliation of being harassed and then disbelieved, of being gaslit by human resources, one by one. More than a dozen former employees stand and give voice to the silence that had almost destroyed them. I am there. I sit in the back row. Isabella had asked me to speak, but I declined. This is not my night. This is theirs. I am not a victim anymore. I am a witness. I sit and I listen, and I feel the broken pieces of the family finally begin to heal. The city is still noisy. The investigation into Anthony Vale is on the news every night, but my apartment, my life, finally feels quiet. I have found a new kind of safe space, one that is not a location, but a feeling. It is the deep cellular knowledge that my voice was heard. I find the white linen handkerchief Luca gave me all those weeks ago, still tucked in a drawer. The Barolo stain is dark and set. I take it to the most expensive dry cleaner in the city. When it comes back, the stain is gone, almost. A pale, faint shadow of the wine remains, a ghost of the collision that started it all. I buy a simple, clean, black frame. I mount the handkerchief inside. I do not hang it in my apartment. I hang it in the small, cluttered community kitchen of the nonprofit where I work, right above the coffee machine, where all the lawyers and advocates gather every morning. There is no plaque. There is no explanation, but we all know what it means. It is a reminder that from one small, accidental mistake, we chose the right side. 6 months later, the community kitchen at the nonprofit organization is loud. It is crowded with lawyers. paralegals and advocates, and the air smells like coffee and cheap sheet cake. It is my birthday. Hector and Maria are here, crowded around the small table. They came straight from their shift at the Coronet. "You would not believe it, Harper," Maria says, her face bright. She is a shift manager now, having been promoted by the new external management team. The pre-shift meetings, they are just normal. We talk about the reservations. We talk about the specials. No one is yelled at. No one is called a name. He just says, "Good evening, team," Hector adds, smiling. It is strange, but it is good. They brought me a small, flowering cactus in a pot, a symbol of resilience. They said, "My life has changed in ways I could not have imagined." Agent Dana Keating sent me an email last week. She is running a new training program for federal investigators, teaching them how to identify and prosecute systemic workplace bullying and retaliation. She has asked me to be the keynote speaker. "These agents need to hear from you," she wrote. "They need to understand the human cost." I walk over to the window, looking down at the street. A familiar black car is parked across the road. Mateo is leaning against it, but he is not on duty. He's waiting for Noah. My brother has become something of an apprentice to Mateo, not in the security business, but in life, and, bizarrely, in mechanics. It turns out Mateo, for all his silent efficiency, knows nothing about maintaining a vehicle. Noah is teaching him how to change his oil. I watch as Noah points at something under the hood, and Mateo, he actually laughs. It is a real, unguarded sound that carries all the way up to my window. He's learning how to be still. On the wall of our kitchen, next to the framed handkerchief, is a new poster. It is sleek, professional, and bright. Respect works. It is the new pro bono campaign Isabella Cruz launched. It is a free, open-source toolkit for small businesses, complete with sample anti-bullying policies, anonymous reporting templates, and legal resources. She's dismantling the culture of silence, one business at a time. The door to the kitchen opens, and Luca Santoro walks in. The room does not go silent, but a respectful hush falls. He's not a stranger here. He's a benefactor, but he is also just Luca. He nods to Maria. He greets my boss by name. He walks over to me, holding a small, flat box made of dark, polished wood. "Happy birthday, Harper," he says, his voice low. "You did not have to," I say, taking the box. It is heavy. It smells like cedar. I open it. There is no ring. There is no jewelry. Inside, on a bed of dark blue velvet, are two keys. One is modern, a silver key with a black electronic fob. The other is old, ornate, and made of brass. I look at him, confused. "The first key," he says, touching the silver one, "is to my home, my penthouse. It is just a place, but I would like it to be our place, when you are ready." My heart does a slow, steady flip. "And the second key?" I ask, touching the brass one. "That," he says, a small smile playing on his lips, "is to your new office. The nonprofit is growing. Your current space is too small. I own a building downtown. The entire 5th floor is now yours. Free of rent, for as long as you need it." I look at him. He's not giving me a cage. He's not buying me. He's giving me a home. And he is giving me a fortress for my work. He's supporting my life. And he is fueling my mission. He's giving me both halves of his world. "Luca," I whisper, "it is perfect." "There is one more thing," he says. He pulls out his tablet. "I was reviewing some old business. I had Mateo pull the full security archive from the Coronet Gala, from that first night. He cues up a video file. I wanted to understand what really happened. I thought you should see it too." He hits play. The footage is from a security camera high above the ballroom, angled toward the bar. I see myself. A tiny figure in black and white, navigating the crowd. I see the reporter lunge. I see myself step back. I see the wine spill. "Wait," I say. "Go back, before the spill. Look!" He pauses the video and zooms in. There, in the shadows just behind the main bar, is Rex Morano. He's watching me. He's not watching the guests. He's watching me. And he is holding something in his hand, a white bar rag. What is he doing? I whisper. He is waiting, Luca says, his voice flat. Watch. He plays the video. Rex sees the reporter break from the line. Rex sees me turn. He sees his chance. He starts to move toward me, his hand raising the rag. He is stepping out, ready to intercept me. That rag, Luca says quietly. Matteo spoke to the kitchen staff. Rex had been in the back 10 minutes before. He soaked that rag in anchovy oil and cheap gin, a foul-smelling mixture. I stare at the screen, my blood running cold. He was going to... What bump into me? He was going to douse you with it, Luca says. In the middle of a $5,000 a plate gala, he was going to create a scene, accuse you of being drunk or disorderly, and have you dragged out by security. He was manufacturing a reason to fire you for cause, right then, publicly. I watch the tiny, black and white figures move. Rex starts to step out. And at that exact second, I pivot to avoid the reporter and slam backwards into Luca. The wine flies. The entire ballroom freezes. Rex stops, the rag still in his hand, his plan shattered. Everyone is looking at me, but they are looking at me and Luca Santoro. Rex cannot touch me, cannot create his scene. The wine spill, my moment of total humiliation, had inadvertently saved me from a far worse, premeditated one. You saw him, I say, realization dawning. When you stepped in, when you wiped my hand, you knew. You saw him watching. I saw a hyena waiting to attack, Luca says, switching off the tablet, and I saw that you were standing alone, so I stepped in. His words, whispered in the lobby, echo back to me, beside me. You are safer than standing alone. He did not mean the press. He meant my boss. I start to laugh. It is a shaky, breathless sound, but it is real. So, I say, wiping my eyes, that wine spill, it saved my job. It saved my career, before it ever even brought you into my life. Luca takes my hand, the one he held that night. His grip is warm and strong. And it taught me something. Harper, he says, it taught me that power. My kind of power is meaningless unless it is used to protect those who have less. I keep the old, broken time clock we salvaged from the coronet's basement. It is a symbol. It sits on a shelf in my new, spacious office, the one with the brass key. It is a reminder of the systemic abuse, of the time that was stolen. And right next to it, I hang the framed Barolo handkerchief. It is the symbol of the accident, the beautiful, chaotic, random chance that broke the system. The following week, I am standing on a stage in a hotel ballroom I do not recognize. It is full of federal agents, lawyers, and investigators. Agent Keating is sitting in the front row. I am terrified, Asa, but my voice does not shake. A safe workplace, I say, looking out at the crowd, does not begin with fear. It does not begin with surveillance. It does not begin with, "We are a family" signs. I find his face in the crowd. Luca is standing in the back of the room. He's not in the shadows. He's not trying to be seen. He is just there, watching me, his arms crossed. He's not casting a shadow over me. He's just letting me stand in my own light. I take a deep breath and I smile. It begins, I say, with respect. Thank you so much for listening to this story. We would love to know where you are listening from. So please share your thoughts and join the conversation in the comments below. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel, Mafia Boss Stories, like this video, and give us extra support by hitting that hype button so this story can be heard by many more people.